Tonight we unpack a season finale twist big enough to shake the entire love triangle. Belly in Paris, Benito stepping into the foreground, and Conrad racing across the ocean for a reunion you won't see coming. Think you know who Belly ends up with? Think again. We've got the receipts, the clues, and those heart-stopping moments you'll be talking about for weeks. Stay till the end for a theory that ties every plot twist together and a spoiler-free takeaway that'll change how you watch the whole season. Let's dive in. What you're about to hear is a fresh, engaging breakdown of the season's major deviations from the books, the big character shifts, and the finale setup, staying true to the facts while delivering hot takes. We'll cover Belly's shift from Conrad to Benito, and what that means for the love triangle, the impact of Belly's Paris arc, and how it changes the tone, the arcs of Conrad and Jeremiah, and the emotional payoff in the finale, and the big questions we're left with, and our theories for the ending. What the show changed from the book, and why it matters. Jenny Han promised to stay true to the heart of the story while making bold changes, and the latest episodes show alterations that many fans didn't expect. Belly's pivot from Conrad to Benito is the clearest example. In the books, Belly's timeline stays tightly focused on Conrad, with the triangle simmering in the background. On screen, Benito steps into the foreground as a real, present romance, and Belly even travels to Paris, raising real stakes. The romance dynamics shift as well, with Benito becoming a tangible, ongoing relationship rather than a passing reference. Belly's new life in Paris creates space for self-discovery, away from Cousins Beach drama. This matters because it raises emotional stakes and makes Belly's final choice less predictable than the book's ending, while still anchoring the core love story. Belly's Paris arc and the birth of a new romance. Belly's life in Paris unfolds as she stays in the city to work at a bar, study online, and build a new circle of friends. This detour from home allows a genuine new romance to emerge. In the books, Bonito is a humorous, almost mythical figure in Conrad's letters. On the show, Bonito becomes a real person who draws Belly into a growing relationship. The pivotal moment comes when Belly and Benito's bond strengthens after a friend, Taylor, pushes Belly to open up again. Belly's decision to sleep with Benito marks a dramatic shift from the book's timing and keeps audiences guessing about her true feelings. This change impacts the central romance by altering Belly's readiness to commit to Conrad later, complicating the endgame dynamic in the finale. It adds texture to Belly's character, defining her not only by her relationship with Conrad, but also by her own growth and autonomy. The love triangle reframed: Conrad, Belly, and Jeremiah. Conrad remains an active presence, writing Belly letters and sending care packages, mirroring the book's emotional thread. The show introduces a twist. Belly is moving on versus holding on, replying to Conrad on her own terms. Jeremiah's arc shows him dealing with the heartbreak after the wedding chaos, moving toward forgiveness and reconciliation with his sister, and growing closer to Denise. The finale sets up future pairing possibilities without erasing his journey. The emotional centerpiece of the finale centers on the confrontation and confessions between Belly and Conrad, designed to rekindle the old flame, while Belly's Paris life and Benito's presence create real tension. There's even a possibility of a wedding scene that mirrors the book, but with Belly wearing a dress she originally bought for Jeremiah, signaling a nuanced shift. The big question remains: will Belly's heart still be torn, or will past and present align to bring Belly and Conrad back together in a satisfying, book-aligned way? What to expect in the finale, the big predictions. Predictions in this section dive deep into how the season could resolve, balancing fidelity to the core romance with the show's bold new direction. We'll explore multiple plausible scenarios, each anchored in the season's observed patterns, character motivations, and narrative momentum. You'll get a granular read on how the emotional beats could land, how moments might be staged, and how the finale could honor fans of the books while rewarding viewers who embrace the new path. Prediction A envisions Belly choosing Conrad, but the path to that reunion is not straightforward. After returning from Paris, Belly gains a deeper, more nuanced understanding of her past and her future. The reunion with Conrad is heartfelt and earned, yet the route to it is tangled by lingering memories of Benito and Belly's life in Paris. Those memories don't simply vanish. They shape Belly's sense of what she truly wants, rather than letting old patterns dictate her decisions. Benito remains a meaningful chapter in Belly's life, but not the final destination. His presence continues to influence her growth and the terms on which she can truly commit. The finale culminates in a moment that feels like a book-accurate reunion, while carrying the weight of Belly's expanded world, making the ending feel earned rather than predestined. The emotional payoff hinges on Belly articulating a choice that respects both her history with Conrad and the person she has become. Prediction B imagines a time-jump wedding that nods to the book while integrating the Paris-era upheaval. The finale would advance the clock to a future moment where relationships shift in the wake of Belly's growth and new experiences. Belly walks down the aisle in the dress she originally bought for Jeremiah, a deliberate symbol of reclaiming her own narrative and signaling that her journey isn't bound to a single past moment. Jeremiah appears in a supportive role, possibly with Denise by his side, signaling warm closure rather than a bitter ending. The ceremony isn't a neat final closure for every thread. It functions as a purposeful, bittersweet pivot that honors Belly's autonomy and leaves room for future storytelling to explore what Benito's presence could mean in the longer arc. This option keeps the core emotional resonance of the original love story while embracing the show's bold reimagining, providing a sense of closure that still leaves open avenues for exploration in subsequent seasons or spin-offs. Prediction C offers a bittersweet but hopeful ending. The finale closes chapters for Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah while acknowledging the growth Belly has achieved in Paris. Belly and Conrad recognize their deep connection, yet they accept that the path forward isn't a straight line. The door remains ajar for the possibility of a future together, contingent on Belly's continued self-discovery and willingness to define her own terms. Jeremiah finds peace and forgiveness, maintaining a strong bond with his sister and remaining a meaningful part of the central circle, with room for new complications or different pairings in future seasons. The final note reinforces a core theme. Love endures, but growth, choice, and timing determine who gets to be at the center of it. The ending leaves viewers satisfied with the emotional resolution, while inviting curiosity about what comes next, whether that means more seasons or new storytelling directions. Why these predictions feel earned. They stay true to the emotional backbone of the Belly-Conrad dynamic, the idea that two people can be drawn to each other across time and distance, while incorporating Belly's expanded agency from her Paris arc. They honor the book's core while embracing the show's bold reimagining, ensuring the finale delivers both nostalgia and forward momentum. They account for the characters' motivations, Belly's need for autonomy, Conrad's longing and care, Jeremiah's path to forgiveness, and Benito's lingering influence as a catalyst for growth rather than a final destination. How the finale could land on a rewatch. Expect deliberate, parallel storytelling, with Belly's Paris experiences echoed in present-day choices and reflective moments that tie back to the early season. Visual motifs like a dress, a car ride, letters and care packages, and a wedding setting act as emotional touchstones that cue viewers to the evolving dynamics. Dialogue beats to watch for center on confessions that balance old chemistry with new boundaries, requests for clarity about future intentions, and moments where Belly asserts agency over her own narrative. These elements would create a cohesive through line that rewards careful viewing and invites discussion during the rewatch, as fans compare how the story's different paths intersect and diverge.